It might appear that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this cow's hoof, and maybe that is the case. You judge. This is the Hoof GP. So in the intro I said it might appear that there's nothing wrong with this hoof. Just a second, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I have a splodge of blood on my face. It came from a cow who unfortunately had a bit of a cut on her tail, and she swished it right in my face. Right, on with the video. And we're going to go ahead here and quickly trim it up. We're going to balance it up, we're going to do the modelling out, and we're going to let her go. Because maybe there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So as you can see, this hoof is not overgrown. There's no obvious signs of lameness once we've picked this cow's hoof up. So all we're doing is levelling off the base of this cow's hoof. We're making sure that the lengths are the same, the heights are the same, and we're modelling it out. And with that, the trim is complete. She is good to go. Perfect. Except she's not. One of Kevin and Craig's really important jobs, if I'm honest, it's more Kevin than Craig. That was me telling him to do a sad face, but as you can see, he just kind of gurned instead. Yeah. Look up gurning. So Kevin is really good at spotting lame cows, and one of his important jobs is as a cow comes up the race, he'll tell me if a cow's lame on the front left, front right, back right, and it is crucially important because sometimes these feet look fantastic and we're so busy and working at such a fast pace that we could often miss things really easily. Just like in this case, I haven't missed it because I know she's lame because Kevin already told me she is lame. But if we look at the hoof, there are no obvious signs of lameness. This here is just natural hoof horn shedding. Look, if I've scratched away, there's nothing really wrong there at all. This is the problematic foot on front feet. So we would expect there to be a problem in here if there was anything, and there isn't. The lengths were good, the heights were pretty good. It was all pretty good. But we know she's lame, and once we know she's lame, it's fairly easy to find the problem. You see, because we know she's lame, we can look for problems. So there might be a problem here. Usually, because this is the non-dominant claw, this wouldn't really be considered as a problem. But, like I said, we know she's lame, so it could be a problem. That's not the problem. It might be connected to the problem, but it is not the problem. This is the problem. If we look here, look, if I push that, you can see it rippling. That should not ripple like that. That shows me that there's a problem underneath. I have not cut into her at all. I know I say that all the time, but it would look like I have there, obviously, because there was nothing and now I've cut, and it is something. This whole hoof horn is detached. This is what we call a double sole. Take note of how easy this part of the hoof horn is to trim away. Look, no effort needed. Come over here, and we need a lot more power to get through that part of the architectural horn. Now I think this, yep, I'm just about to say I think this is connected on. Look, if we press there, the fluid from here is all underneath here, and it's seeping out here. As professional cattle hoof trimmers, we're constantly trying to absorb the signs that the cow's feet are giving us. Just look at the colour of that fluid coming out. You would expect it to be bright red, but it's not. It's a deep, dark, crimsony black colour, and that is a sign that there is congealed blood lying underneath the hoof horn. This is a problem that's been happening for a while. So as I swipe away these pieces of hoof horn, we're starting to open up the cavity, and here we can see almost the true extent of the cavity. It does extend up here underneath this hoof horn, and if I get my thumb I can actually prise that away. Now obviously If we don't remove this hoof horn, it's just going to be a pocket for dirt and debris to collect. This does extend down here to this crack, as we already saw. And as I press here, there must be a void underneath. Because look at this fluid coming out here.
Something you probably don't think about when watching these videos is that it's really important the cows stay still and calm when they're in the crush. Not only for their sakes, but also for ours. But from time to time when we get close to a problem, cows will flinch, just like that. And we pause for a second to make sure we haven't seriously hurt them, and to make sure we don't make any unwanted cuts.
That's just congealed blood. That is basically what stopped you or a cow or any other animal from bleeding to death. Coagulation. You can see it's unhealthy from the colour of the claret. It's a lot darker. It truly is claret, like a fine red wine, although it probably doesn't taste quite so good. I'm holding that blue roll in place, trying to bruise the part that is slightly bleeding. Again, not because I cut it, but because I opened this cavity and opened up what was already raw and bleeding on the inside. See, I'm taking away as small a piece as possible, but trying to get through the trim as quickly as I possibly can at the same time. We don't want these cows in the crush for any longer than they absolutely need to be. You see that's all still detached, look at that. Pulling it away helps us not to go any further than we need to be. Like, we just touch it and it comes away, watch. No pressure at all. Oh, maybe a wee bit there. There are about 420 or 430 cows at this farm alone, which actually isn't a huge farm, that's about normal. In comparison to the villages in the area that I live, 400 people would be a substantial village. In fact, it would be quite a big village. So, stick with me for a wee second. Imagine you've got this little village, we'll call it Garliston. That is a village near here. Little Johnny is out with all of his mates, he's playing football with Billy and little Toddy and Badger. Badger's a cool wee guy. And then you've got another bunch of people, they're away for a walk up in the hills, and they're going up the Merrick, which is a mountain close to here, mountain, big hill. But it's really steep, there's lots of rocks. And then you've got some more people, they're out for a bike ride. Little Johnny, out of all of those people, is the only one who trips over and hurts his ankle and his foot. He went for a slide tackle and hit the goalpost. It was terrible. But anyway, the point is, he really hurt his foot. Now, out of 400 people, little Johnny hurting himself that day wasn't a big deal, was it? And that's the exact same for Bessie, the cow in the crush. She, out of the 420 cows over there, or the 420 people in this particular village, is the one that has hurt her foot. She's had an accident. As you saw, her foot was not overgrown. Look, this is it when we started. It didn't look bad at all, but she had an accident. And that is what's happened to this foot. It's not through neglect, it's not through the farmer not doing his job. It's just an accident that's happened to this cow, like it can happen to anyone within our communities at home. I don't think it was a slide tackle that hurt Bessie's foot though. I don't think. Right, Kevin's finished getting the lock on, so let's get back to the foot. I love trims like this, when they really clean up nicely, everything comes away nicely and you end up with a hoof looking like this. If we look here, this is the source of the problem. It's likely she's bashed the side of her foot here and it's become bruised. But because that bruising can't get out, it causes this abscess to form. And that abscess can't burst out the side of the foot. So it delaminates the whole sole and we end up with exactly this. This is a little too open just to leave iodine to it. Easy for me to say. This is a little too open just to let iodine do its thing. So we are going to cover it completely with iodine, and actually there might be some digital dermatitis effect on this. But we're going to cover it complete with that iodine and wrap it up before letting her go. See that? I didn't even have to ask Kevin to get the wrap. Right on cue, he's the way to get it. I'm lucky working with Kevin and Craig.
That's good to know. Hashtag Craigie Boy YouTube channel.
Cut. Anyway, really good, wasn't it? Me and the guys are just talking about, so my brother's got a YouTube channel, Scotland Unplugged. I'm deliberately trying not to try and promote him all the time to annoy you guys, but we watched his last video and it's about Sonny Bean, who was one of the most notorious cannibals of all time, who lived in Ayrshire, which is where Craigie Boy's from. Craig's in the video too, actually. Go and check it out, Scotland Unplugged. It's his last video and it's something like Scotland's Cannibal or something, but it's a really good watch and quite frightening actually. With that, it brings us to the end. Yes, I was on the ground videoing her as she left. With that, it brings us to the end of this video and this episode of the Hoof GP. Cheerio guys. Remember to go and check out Bob's channel, Scotland Unplugged, because that video actually is really good. But don't tell him I said that. Bye!